So I do believe that now that what's happened has happened, needing a double bottom on the weekly time frame to form before I assumed our next direction, which was back to these highs right here. Um, with having a bullish dollar, right? Because this is a double bottom on the weekly time frame. I do expect this to actually fall back to its lows. So that's really the main pair that I'm going to be looking at for next week. Because honestly, the next target for G would be right here. We're almost there already. That's not a lot of room. I do expect a pullback, but at the same time, um, I just feel like this is not even I feel like this is really what it is. Actually, hold on. It was EU. It was more clear. You have a shoulder, you have a head, and you have another shoulder that's currently forming. And I'm circling this even though we still have 14 days before the monthly candle closes because of what's happening on the dollar, which is a double bottom. And that just means that we're gonna have more upside until this level. I don't know if it's gonna break it. It hasn't broken it all these past times. What we do have in our favor this time is what I was saying with having this double bottom and a higher low at a structural level on a trend line. There's a lot of compliments, but it has not told me if and when this level's breaking, right? Because that's once we can break this level, I do believe we'll come back here, which is what we've been waiting for a long time because, the dollar has been consolidating for quite a bit, for quite a bit. But there's a potential that this could be the move to the upside, but we don't know that yet. All I can tell you is that our next target is this level right here, when we look to the left. I hope it breaks, but I can only go based off of what is happening right now. So with having a more bullish dollar for the moment, I do expect EU to fall back to its lows. GU, same thing, but it's almost there already. NU could possibly even break just because I know overall, we're very, very bearish, but there's a lot of support that's here on the monthly and the 2 months. But again, that would just be my first target, and I'd probably just take all of it depending on what the weekly does around that level. For UJ, probably just continue bullish. I didn't take it because I kept seeing this double top. Like we keep having a lot of problems trying to break this level, so I'm not trying to put myself in that position to try to say it's gonna break it when it just hasn't yet. You've had it could be more bullish, right? Let's see. It makes sense when I go to the 2 month because if I look immediately to the left, we have this level of support, which is what I was looking at for a while. And if this closes like this or bullish at all in the next month and a half, this is going to be a major double bottom on the 2 month time frame, which could potentially allow us to break these highs, or at least the first target's here. Second target would be here. That's if we end up closing like this on the 2 months. If not, then that goes out the window. AU, I, it's bullish. All right, it's bullish. It's just it has some work to do before I can put my money in it and be confidento. But if the dollar is more bullish right now, we can expect this to continue to fall. And I think in order for me, let me put wait for to um uh there's all right. That's gonna be kind of my because it can come down here and then just hit stop loss, market manipulation until the dollar is ready. They will stall. If there's one lesson that I learned, so I just really wait for the dollar to tell me all of the things. And for right now, the dollar is telling me that it wants to continue back to this level. I think the best way to go about getting these entries is I know I gotta wait for at least a 4 hour pullback or something. Um, I can't just be taking trades just because it feels good in the moment. That's not how this works. So I'm gonna assume running to resistance soon, and then at the pullback, we will enter in. All right. For oil, I still think that if the monthly candle closes bearish or weak, the following monthly can have more bearish movement than not. But at the same time, I'm not trying to say anything about this right now until I have an actual double top or just more information, more confluence, at least a weekly need to break support, something. This is not complete enough for me. Um, but yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now. And GJ, so I look immediately to the left and I see this huge candle. That's not something I need to be playing with. So I'm gonna actually turn that into a major zone. Um, if At this point, I want to see, before I think about buys again, I want to see price come into this level to the left, right? To the weekly. I want to see some dailies close a certain way. Um, and if it looks right, if it feels right, if I get some weekly bullish candle closes or some daily engulfings or double bottoms on the daily, then I'll consider getting in for buys because when I look at the Japanese yen, it still feels a lot more bearish than bullish. So I can't even act like I'm going to switch up my buys. So yeah, happy trading, y'all. Stay patient.